Okay, so we've got AI that can execute pretty much any command we can think of. In a world like that, there's one human skill that's becoming our most critical asset, and that's extreme agency. It's the difference between just following instructions and actually writing the script for what comes next. Let's dive into what that really means. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Most of us spend years, literally years, in systems that reward us for coloring inside the lines and just following the rules. And then, suddenly, we're tossed into the real world and everyone's telling us to innovate, to lead, to take risks. It's a huge disconnect, and it's time we start rewiring that programming. So here's how we're going to break it all down in this explainer. First, we'll look at why we're so often trained to follow. Then we'll get into what extreme agency actually is. After that, we'll see why it's our biggest advantage over AI, talk about how to actually build it, and finally wrap up with what it really means to lead without a script. All right, so where does this whole problem even begin? Well, you could say it starts in what we'll call the follower factory. Many of the systems we grew up in, school, our first jobs, they're incredibly good at teaching one specific thing, how to follow instructions and hit targets someone else sets. And while that's useful, it often conditions us for passivity, sometimes without us even realizing it's happening. You know the drill, right? For years, the rules were crystal clear. Do exactly what the prompt says. Don't wander off topic. And whatever you do, don't surprise the person grading you. Sure, maybe you could be a little creative here and there, but the core structure, the box you had to work in, was always built by someone else. Okay, so recognizing that we've been trained to be followers is a huge first step. The next one is to actively embrace the solution, which is extreme agency. And trust me, this isn't just some new buzzword. It's a fundamental shift in how you see yourself, moving from someone who just gets tasks done to someone who actively shapes the work itself. At its heart, agency is actually pretty simple. It's the move you make from being able to say, yeah, I did what I was told, to being able to say with confidence, I shaped this. It's the difference between being an actor following a script and being the one who wrote it. So how does that work in practice? Well, we can break agency down into three key pillars. First, you've got owning your goals. This means instead of just taking an assignment, you ask, what's the real goal here? What are we trying to accomplish? Second, owning your constraints. You don't pretend limitations don't exist. You look at them head on and ask, okay, what's my real world budget of time and resources, and how can I get creative inside that box? And third, owning your criteria. This is about you proactively defining what success looks like instead of just waiting for someone to grade you. Now, this is where everything gets really, really important in today's world. We've got these incredibly powerful AI tools everywhere. So why is a purely human skill like agency suddenly more valuable than ever? Well, it's because it's the one thing you can't and shouldn't outsource to a machine. Look, let's be real. AI is an absolutely brilliant execution engine. It can follow prompts with a speed and patience we can only dream of. But here's the catch. It's completely passive. It doesn't wake up on its own and decide something needs to get done. It doesn't initiate. It has no internal why. It just sits there, waiting for a human to give it a purpose. And this right here is the fundamental difference. An AI is prompt dependent. It executes a script that's handed to it. A human with agency, on the other hand, is purpose driven. They write the script. AI has no agenda, no skin in the game. We're the ones who decide what actually matters. That distinction is everything. Okay, so understanding all this is one thing, but how do you actually build agency? How do you go from theory to practice, especially if following instructions is your default setting? Well, let's get into the playbook. Here's the most important thing to remember. Agency is not some magic talent you're either born with or you're not at all. It's a trainable habit. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it gets stronger with specific, repeated practice. So here's a wonderfully simple but powerful exercise you can do right now. It's called the Assignment Reframe Clinic. Just take any task or assignment you're given. But instead of just jumping in and doing it, stop. Rewrite the prompt. Give it a clearer purpose. Define a specific audience you're trying to help or persuade. And then suggest how it should be judged. Just like that, you turn a boring task into a mission that you actually own. Now here's a brilliant way to flip the script on how we use AI. Instead of using it to just do the work for you, which, by the way, shrinks your agency, use it to make your own thinking sharper. Basically, use AI as your personal coach. So try this next time. Prompt the AI to act like a skeptical stakeholder, a tough boss, a cynical client, whatever. Lay out your idea and then ask it to poke holes in it, to find the weak spots, to ask you the hardest questions it can think of. By defending your vision against that AI critique, you're not outsourcing your thinking. You're making it bulletproof. You're still the one in charge. So where does all this take us? What's the end game? Well, when you start practicing these habits, you're not just getting better at your job. You're developing the ability to lead without a script. You're preparing yourself to actually write your own future. And let's be really clear about something. Having agency isn't about being the loudest person in the room or being dominant. It's about being the person who can walk into a messy, unclear, ambiguous situation and have the clarity to choose a purposeful direction, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. AI will happily generate all the language, all the code, all the images anyone could ever ask for. It is the ultimate follower. But the real question, the one that will define the future, is this. Who decides what's worth saying in the first place? That is the power of extreme agency.